It's only a model. Shh.
We're knights around the table, not round the square or triangle. We come to hang and chat like a gang on Fridays as we're able. We play well here in Camelot, we are chums and fun, but Camelot. We're knights around the table, our host is formidable. He runs a strange, often insane, but sure he's quite unstable. He's hobby mad in Camelot, but seems never to have done a lot. Quite incomprehensible. The wretched and we have no plan but to sit and hear Dodge babble. It's a lazy time in Camelot.
I have to shake my bum a lot.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the expressed written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday to all my fellow knights of the rhomboid table. How are you all doing? It's kind of weird to be back where I usually am after 3 weeks in Australia. Wow, what a mind-blowing trip. Let's go straight into greeting the knights of the rhomboid table who have gathered round. On my list, although some, if you haven't chatted recently, pop in another hello or something because you may have come off my list. But right now, I've got Sir Andy81E just popped in. Sir Colin of Wykes is here. Sir Sean from GDR Buckley Junction, who is once again considering ripping everything out. It's your choice. I think it's wonderful and just enjoy your trains, but you got to be happy with it. But maybe you like the building and not the finished product. Anyhow, we got Sir Andy, the head of the Royal Air Force here. Hot dog pilot. Hope you're well. I don't like to call people out individually because I like to be egalitarian, but I think we can all agree Andy is just one of the nicest blokes, one of the coolest, nicest guys on YouTube, among many others here as well. But I just wanted to throw a special way to go to Andy, who is just always a gentleman, always just a great guy. Sir Jean Ricard, the exact opposite. No, I'm just kidding. Sir Jean Ricard, who is at a really cool tram museum. He is watching from one of his holiday spots he likes to go to. He is watching from a small light rail and tram museum in Denmark. So thank you for joining us, my friend. Sir Dwight of Curly Express is here. Another amazing, wonderful guy. All of you are, of course. Sir Dino is here. Great to have you here, Sir Dino from Model Railway Shed. We've got Sir Clive of Newland Railway. We've got good friend Sir Randall of Ellison. Sir Ray of Bobel is here. We've got Sir Steve from Stormy Sky Rail Production is here. Sir Tim, the CEO of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. And we've got Sir Tom of Couples, and we've got Sir Chris from the Valleys. And that's everybody that's on my list, except Sir Peter from Chapel End has just popped in. Great to see you. And I'm just going to peruse my list one more time. I don't know if somebody came in earlier, said hello, and then is gone. Nope, all the names I'm seeing are still here. Fantastic. Yeah. I could spend 5 hours, 10 hours talking about the Australia trip. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event, although there's a decent chance we're probably going to go back in a few years. We've got next year will be Germany. The year after that will be the UK. Of course, we're also going to the UK in October of this year for Getz. And we're going to also go up to the Staffold Barn show, the Worley show that's moved up there. But yeah, just an amazing trip. So the first thing I want to do is change screens here real quick and go to this one just to share some bits with you. Let me see who just came in. Hey, Sir Anthony of Borden is here. Long time no see, welcome in. Thanks for having us. And to all the people that watch on replay and in the background, all of you good friends of mine, Christopher from Christopher's Hobby Blog, and Mark from Model Railway Fantasia, Jim from Hover Motion and his wonderful family. Hard to believe it's been 2 years since we visited your place. We did so much, but the first thing I want to really call up here is the people we met. We met a lot of YouTubers. For example, our first full day, we had a barbecue, and this is some Australian YouTubers. Now, there's Joyce on the left, me on the right. But next to me on the right, that is, many of you may know him, that is Les from the We Us Co Railroad. We Us Co Railroad. That is Les from the WEUSCO Railroad YouTube channel. And this man is absolutely a brilliant mechanical engineer. He builds cars, he does railways. The man... And he does music, audio mixing, and his son's in a country rock band in Australia and been very successful. Just awesome to meet these people. Of course, you've got Artie in the middle. Next to Artie, freezing his ass off, is Richard DeMagd. Again, if you don't come to Artie's live stream, you probably don't know Richard because he's rarely online and usually the only live stream of international people that comes in. But if you've been to Artie's live stream, you would have seen Richard and his wife. And then down below that from Les, that is Charlie, who has been doing layouts for 60 years. He doesn't come on YouTube much either, but just wonderful people there. It was just We had a barbecue, and I just saw a couple of you said you don't like the smell of barbecue. Artie actually is excellent with his steaks and roasts and such. A great barbecue there. The middle picture, because I got to make sure I'm doing these in the right order. Whoops. There it is. We went down, and again, if you know Artie's chat or the Australian model railway scene, the gentleman in the middle of this picture, that is Gary, also known, and his wife. Gary was known as Creepy013. About a year ago, he left the model train hobby, and he now focuses on diorama building. No, I did not ride the Gon. We did not do a lot of train-related things in there. We did not do a lot. Hey, there's Sir Leslie of Gilpin has just popped in. But so that's Gary. Wonderful time, beautiful house. He lives in a great little town. I always mispronounce it. Golban or Golban. But Gary is a great guy, wonderful host. I got to see a lot of his models. Well, Ifo, we'll leave that for another debate and channel discussion. But yeah, Gary and his wife, absolutely wonderful people. It was an honor to meet him because Gary, again, if you knew Gary when he was online, he was an amazing builder. He built this crystal cave with a train running through it that was just amazing. And sadly, he tore it down. But he just an amazing builder. And then another super pleasure, if I can dare say it. Yeah, there we go. We met on the left of this picture. This is Greg. Most of you should know Greg from Midsummer Rail and Scale hobby. Greg, the last 2.5 years, has had serious health issues, including 2 major operations. He is better. He's back to the hobby. He and his wife, we had a great time. It was such an honor to meet Greg because I have been talking to Greg for a few years now, and he's been one of the biggest, along with some people in here, just long time, most vocal and ardent supporters of my channel, which makes them special to me. They have been there since early on and have just been supportive of whether I'm doing Matt Clark or the trains or the parody songs. He's just a fan of all of it, good friend. And then, of course, we were with Artie the whole time, and we did so much, but I would literally never show trains today. But Artie took us everywhere. I'm going to go to the main screen and take these pictures off, but you could just see some of the different places we could see. Waterfalls and mountains and the ocean. But I've got to say this, and Artie's probably still sleeping, although maybe got up early. Artie was amazing. Artie went out of his way and inconvenienced himself in many ways, even though he'll say, oh, it wasn't a problem, it wasn't a problem. Artie's house has 2 bedrooms. One has his bed and the other has his train room. Artie was sleeping in his train room so Joyce and I could have the bed in his place. And Artie drove us everywhere and took us to so many places. We can't thank Artie enough. Well, the one thing we'd like to do on behalf of Artie is if we could encourage some of you guys that are friends of Artie's to, hey, go ahead and see if you can work out going down and spending some time with Artie as well. It's an amazing area. Mountains and ocean, unlike the Witch, and rainforest. It's amazing. Within a 20-mile span, you have mountain, rainforest, urban center, coastline for ocean, and plus where Artie lives, there's this giant lake as well, and there's actually a point where the lake flows into the ocean, which is really cool. But oh my God, Joyce and I, we just enjoyed seeing the beaches, the ocean. It was the first time we'd seen the Pacific Ocean, our stop in Honolulu, and that. Just so many amazing things, and I'll talk more about that once I get the trains in action. Now, Artie did give me a couple of gifts. He presented me with this little famous Australian vehicle. It is a 1972 Sandman panel van, which is really cool. I think this is Hot Wheel scale. I think this is 1/64 scale. He gave me a Murray's bus here. Again, I think this is 1/64 scale. It might be HO scale. Yeah, it could be HO scale. Unfortunately, it doesn't say. But it's really nice. And then I bought some stuff. I did not buy any locos or cars. I'm trying to... Hello, Von Don Eisenbahn, Sir Lee, Sir Mick, the royal bartender is finally here. Nice to have you here. Get the bar open, sir. Airwolf the helicopter is here. Von Don Eisenbahn, our friends, are here. Sir James from Dundas Junction is here. Great to have you all. The only train-related stuff I bought for myself was I bought 3 pairs of containers. Well, whoops, not that one. But I bought 2 of an Australian firm, Austrains, and I bought this just to signify Australia, to pay homage to Australia. And then I got 2 evergreens, and then I also I've been wanting to get these for a while, and I finally got them. And I got them cheaper than I would have gotten them off eBay in the United States, but I got a couple of the pink one. And those are actually on a train. I put those on. I put one of the evergreens and one of the Austrains on as well. So I've got the most variety of companies represented on those trains. Majorette as well. So yeah, it's basically HO scale, since a lot of HO scale is 1/100. Passenger cars, some locos, etc., etc. But anyhow, and then I did buy this. This is a Valiant Charger. This was a Chrysler made, and there's a very curious deal here. Chrysler owned the Australian car maker Valiant, and Chrysler took the Dodge Charger and they sent the blueprints to Valiant, and Valiant widened it. It's still built on the Chrysler A-frame, the Mopar A-frame, but they shortened it and widened it a bit to deal with Australia's conditions at the time. And this is a 1971 Valiant Charger. But the big scandal was that Dodge was owned by Chrysler, but they owned the rights to Charger. And they were not happy that Chrysler took the Charger name and threw it on a car that was not a true Charger. They were not happy about that. And Chrysler never did it again. Chrysler has never used a Dodge name like the Challenger or anything else on a non-Dodge car since. But I bought one of those as a signal there. So let me see. Anybody else come in? Let's see. Going for Memorial Day, James. Okay. So anyhow, yeah, I didn't buy a lot there. We only went to one model train shop. Now, I did buy a locomotive, and I did buy some decoders as a gift to Artie. And Artie will eventually do a video where he shows the locomotive I bought him. I put him on the spot because Artie would have said no if I talked about it privately. So I put him in the store in front of a couple of people and said, you have to pick one. Hi, Eric. Hi and bye. Take care, Sir Eric. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. It's nice to see you, even if it's just for the moment. And did I see Sir Dave the Kiwi is here? Nice. And if I missed anybody else, I'll have to double check. Did I miss anybody else? So yeah, we got back Tuesday, and I think it hit me yesterday. Just I didn't sleep last night. I was so tired. I slept Tuesday night and Wednesday night, but just everything kind of crashed, and just dealing with so much. But it was such a special time. We can never say thanks to Artie enough. Joyce and I, we're very easy to please people in a lot of ways. The hardest way to please us with me is food, because I'm such a very boring eater. I just want a burger and some form of potato, and I'm happy. And I did try kangaroo. I did try kangaroo steak. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just sort of meh. To me, it tasted just sort of like a really boring, flavorless meat. And Artie did not flavor it on purpose. He wanted me to taste the kangaroo. And so it didn't really taste gamey the way people talk about certain things taste gamey. It was so lean. It was such lean meat. Fat makes a little bit of the flavor to it. Kangaroos are very lean. Joyce did not like it. I thought it was okay. I just didn't think it was great. It's not going to replace anything. But I'll say right now, I probably like it better than ham or bacon, because I don't like ham or bacon. So anyhow, the one train-related thing we did do, we went to the New South Wales Railway Museum. Gorgeous place. Now, again, if you know Artie's channel, he did a live stream from there last year. And it was really cool. So we got to go and see a lot of things that you didn't see on the live stream. And I bought this shirt there. I thought this shirt just looked cool. I really like this shirt. And I nabbed this one, and then I nabbed another one, which somebody on the channel. But yeah, I love this shirt. So I nabbed it, and I thought it's an appropriate shirt to live stream in. Train with the heartbeat, it's all in there. So all right, let's get to the trains. I've babbled long enough, and I'll continue babbling for the day. And I'm trying to look at chat and see who's coming in and making sure I don't miss anybody. But where are we? There it is. All right, so running today, I've got my ICE3. I'm going to be running my Austrian EC, my Austrian Euro City, pulled by that red Taurus, the ÖBB. But the new guy, the one you might have seen the video of earlier today, is that blue, 2 shades of blue, gray, and white locomotive. That is a Vectron, a class 193. This 193 was a Father's Day gift from Joyce to me. I showed her some of my wannabes, stuff that were on my wish list. And we narrowed it down, and I said, pick one of these. I would be happy with any of them. She went with this one, and I'm glad she did. This is a great locomotive. Very happy to have it. It's the 193s. The Vectrons are phasing out the class 370s and 371s that the Czech Republic has used for years and years and years for their long distance and higher speed traffic. So passenger service. So the Vectron's coming in. So this guy goes with the cars he's running with. And then I'm running the freight train, and this time I'm running with the 218 Pressnitzbahn locomotive. And then we've got the Metronom, long standby. And then we got the class 648 Lint class Regio in the background. So let's put some of these guys in motion. And then I can go back to babbling, and you guys can watch trains. And then I'll get to the floor guys ASAP. Okay, I think that's everybody in motion except the floor. Let me get to the floor. And on the floor, I'm running steamers. But both these guys in warm-ups were being a little erratic. I don't know if it was 2 weeks sitting on the floor collecting dust. I did not get a chance to clean them. So hopefully as the live stream goes on, they'll run a little better. So if you wanted steam today, you had to look on the floor because the only steamers I'm running are the two on the floor there. Mallard's going a little fast now. Okay. Hey, I see Dominic. Hallo, Dominic. Wie geht's? Wie steht's? Yeah, I got things out of order on that one, but I'll work out. But yeah, it's a happy. So let's start off with, let's go to the multi-view to start, and then we'll get the close-ups on various levels. And the Mallard stopped as soon as I slowed it down. Go figure. Oh. Come on, Mallard. Knock it off. Oh, it's going to be one of those days with these guys, I'm afraid. Okay, so unfortunately, we'll see how long it lasts before it stops again. Hey, did I see Tammy came in? Yeah, I do love the coronations and such, the princess. Oh, it's a Doc Hudson. Oh, that's cool. So, hi, Tammy and Ray. How are you guys? But I'll be popping a video. It's an hour-long video. It's actually burning on my new laptop computer upstairs. But I'm burning a new video of our visit to the New South Wales Model Train Museum. That'll be going up tomorrow. Hopefully you guys checked out the new video of the new guy here. So I'm not running the longest container train. I actually shortened it a bit because this Roco 218, the blue 218 here. That guy right there, right below me, that is a class 218. It's a big sausage roll or a loaf of bread, whatever you want to call it. Although I think loaf of bread nickname is for other locos. Going to ride the HSB steam train in August. That's nice. But, yeah, I mean, Joyce and I were just checking some of the video the other Wednesday and yesterday just to see if it captured it. And the thing is, we did so much that there were little things we did. We didn't forget about them, but they kind of got overshadowed by other things that, you know, what Joyce and I talk about, we talk about certain things. There's the video where I went swimming, which the audio is really quiet. Huh. The mic says I'm broadcasting pretty full. Well, hello, Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Yeah, I started the stream and realized that the sound on a couple of things was turned down for some reason. I put the sound back up, but the mic was good. Might want to check your sound connection in this case. The beached whale for Artie. Yeah, it's the first time I've gone swimming since August of last year. And I try to survive in the heat. That's what we are. We have had a heat wave started a few days before we came home, and it's just going to keep going. And we just saw the long-range weather report that says July is going to be even hotter and drier than June. It's going to be an ugly summer here in Toledo, which is such a flip because it got warm in Toledo and then we went down to Australia. And yeah, I know it's late fall in Australia, but their late fall temperatures are in the 50s Fahrenheit, you know, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Celsius. But Joyce and I were just freezing, non-stop freezing. We were cold. We're wearing long sleeve t-shirts with a long sleeve sweater with a hoodie over that, and we're still just shivering. And we, you know, and I don't want to, it's not like it was, oh, the Antarctic winds from the south were getting to us. We get the Arctic winds from the north here in the winter. I think it was just our bodies that transitioned to the warm weather, and then we went where it was suddenly 30 degrees colder. And now, after all these 3 weeks where the temperatures were in the 50s, and I think the highest temperature we saw was 62 one day. We saw a 62 degree temperature. That was the morning I went swimming, and then the temperature went down by the time I went swimming. But now we've come back to Toledo, and it's been in the 90s. So it's just, I don't even want to go outside. I walk outside, and it's like walking into a brick wall. The heat is just so ridiculous. Hey, speak of the devil, there's Greg. Hey, Greg, I was just showing your pictures. And Anthony, hello, Anthony from Choberton Junction. Sir Graham, Sir Anthony, Sir Graham from Leamington Station. How are you? But we, yeah, it just, the big joke, and I want to talk about stereotypes. I want to talk about stereotypes. One stereotype is very true. Australians are friendly, except to each other. Australians are very friendly until you get into their regional biases. You know, the Queenslanders and the New South Wales have a rivalry with each other. Melbourne has a rivalry with Sydney, and the people from the central north areas have an attitude against Melbourne, and the Melbourne have an attitude against the rest. And but the Australians were, you could walk into any place and the people there, not the people that work there, just other people that happen to be there at a grocery store, they're all like, "G'day, mate. Hello." You know, they're just very friendly. It was amazing. It was similar to our experiences in the UK, where so many people are just willing to say hello and how are you. And when they realized, they heard our accent, we're Americans, they were saying, "Oh, where are you from?" You know, and so that stereotype that Australians are very friendly and kind of outgoing people is true. But one thing that I'm not supposed to talk about, but I will talk about, is when you are not from Australia, you watch all the documentaries, you watch all the movies, you even listen to the Australians talk about it, how dangerous and bad Australia is. Oh, there's so many poisonous spiders and so many poisonous snakes, and everything in Australia will kill you. Yes, they have poisonous spiders. So do we. Yes, they have poisonous snakes. Very poisonous snakes. I think, I forget what the one snake is, but it's the most poisonous snake in the world, most venomous snake. The brown snake is like number 3 on the list of most poisonous. But the thing is, they're not aggressive. You will get bitten because you stepped on one, or you stepped too close to one. The red belly snake, these guys, first of all, we didn't see any because they tend to stay out of the human. But like, if you're walking on a path and you see a brown snake, just stop and let the brown snake cross. And don't go into tall grass where there's a sign that says beware of snakes, because you might step on one and then he's going to bite. But they don't come after you. And the Australians will point out, they'll tell you, it's more dangerous in America because you go hiking in West Virginia, or you go hiking in the Smoky Mountains or the Rocky Mountains. There's mountain lions, there's bears, and they will come at you. You know, if a brown snake is there, you just stop and the brown snake will go away. If there's a grizzly bear there and you stop, he ain't going away. He's coming at you. So it was funny to talk to so many Australians that, like, they go hiking all the time in Australia, but they're scared to go hiking in America. Hey, Mark, Sir Mark from Model Railway Fantasia, great to have you in. Hey, CMD, you're down in South Africa now. Cool. We were just in the the Southern Hemisphere. And that was one of the coolest things. I'm not a particular stargazer, but I do like to gaze at the stars now and then. And one of the things I wanted to do was just see if randomly standing somewhere at night and see a starry sky and see if I could actually tell the difference. Because your brain knows it's different. Your brain knows it's different. But yeah, you could really tell the difference. The constellations and the stars were different. I mean, that's a statement of the obvious, I know. But nonetheless, it's very true. The constellations are different. I got to see the Southern Cross, which was so cool. I don't know why seeing the Southern Cross was going to be something special to me. It's just there are so many songs, and the one I always think of is the song Southern Cross by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. When you see the Southern Cross for the first time. Oh my God, that song has just been in my head nonstop since I did, because it was so cool to just, oh, look at all these different constellations that you don't see in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, you got a lot of wolves. But the fact is, wolves tend not to be aggressive towards humans. Yeah, Sign of the Southern Cross by Ronnie James Dio. It was just... I think Artie got sick of me singing and playing that song, but I couldn't help it. It was such a special moment to finally... Because first of all, almost every night was cloudy or overcast. And then the first night where it was clear and we could have gone stargazing, we were traveling and we stopped at a hotel. And Joyce and I were talking about, before we stopped at the hotel, we're like, hey, we'll drop off our bags and we'll walk down the street to where it's dark and look at the stars. Half an hour later, we got in the hotel, set our bags down. I sat on the bed. I put my head back for a minute and I was out. And I was like, okay, never mind. You were in Poland train spotting in the Gdansk area. A lot of PKP. Well, you got to talk to Mark from Model Railway Fantasia. He's a PKP fan. Plus, he's going to be moving to Poland eventually. Well, so we finally had a clear night. Artie drove us to the top of a mountain in the Wollongong area. I'm trying to remember which mountain it was. It was not Mount Kembla. It might have been Mount Kira. But we drove to the top and it was pitch black up there. It was so perfect. And slowly the stars were there. And we saw the Milky Way galaxy, which we never see up here. I mean, I know you can see it, but even if you get out in the country in Ohio, there's, I guess, too much light bleed. You don't really see the band of the Milky Way. We saw the band of the Milky Way. That was so cool. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hey, guys, if you remember, Heath at one time was doing that. You could remote control one of his trains while he was doing his live streams and that. Canadian Locomotive Logistics does the same thing. So, yeah, check out his site, check out his channel, and run a train on his layout. It's very cool. But, oh my goodness, it was just so many things to talk about. You know, for example, about 4 days into our trip, we went to a animal farm. This children, you know, well, an animal farm, we'll call it that. And they had kangaroos, and they had saltwater and freshwater alligators, and they had native Australian birds and so forth. All the animals there were native to Australia. Saw some black cockatoos. I forget their full name, but it's black something cockatoo. They're jet black with red striping in their tails, and when they spread their tail feathers out, it's such a cool pattern. It's amazing. They're just this black with suddenly this bright blood red coloring in their tails, and it's really cool. I had never heard of them or seen them in anything before. But I saw an albino peacock, and that was so cool. I had never heard of or seen an albino peacock, and one's just walking within 2 feet of me, and I'm like, it's an albino peacock! And I'm like so excited, I'm trying to get Joyce, check it out, it's an albino peacock! And Joyce's attitude is, oh, that's a shame, because the whole point of a peacock is to be bright and colorful, and it's albino. And I'm like, no! How many times have you seen an albino peacock or even heard of albino peacocks? Never. Exactly. And Joyce is like, poor thing. All right, so let's watch the new guy go around. There he is. The cars are not new, just the locomotive. They're just going to watch this guy go around the layout. Oh, we got everybody coming at you right there. And then he'll disappear, and now he'll come up on that long view. You had a mouse in your office. We had a mouse in our house. Artie had they had heavy rains, and so the mice from the fields start coming into the houses. So we had to trap a couple of mice. They only got into the kitchen. Yeah, I'm digging the 1 containers. Hey, Raymond Legs. Sir Raymond, how are you? Well, let's see. I forget how many containers I have now, but you can kind of see there. I actually have 3 more containers. You can kind of see them. They're black over there, but I didn't put those on the train. I'll probably pick up a couple of more empty cars so I can just make it longer. But yeah, it's getting pretty long because I still have all these spare containers here. And all 40 footers and 20 footers I can still add. So I got to get a few more flatbeds. They had some there, but they have the wrong coupling and you can't change out the couplings. It's not the NEMS pocket system. So I'll just get some Märklin or Roco or Piko cheap flatbeds to expand it. How long did it take? Well, it takes us an hour to drive to the Detroit airport. Then it was 5 hours flight from Detroit to Los Angeles. And then it's 14 hours from Los Angeles to Sydney. However, we had a hiccup in that plan. We were flying, we left on time from LA to go to Sydney. We left on time to go from LA to Sydney, and my doctor prescribed me some anti-anxiety pills to keep my fear of heights. Well, it made me relaxed enough. About 2 hours, 3 hours into the flight, I fell asleep. I don't usually sleep on flights very well, but I fell asleep, and I had slept for about 2 hours. Joyce slept for about 2 hours, and something woke me up. And I woke up and I felt the plane banking. And I'm like, what? Are we already at? And I looked up and it said 90 minutes to destination. I'm like, wow, I slept for 10 hours on this flight. And then I looked at it, said destination Honolulu. And I went back to sleep for about 5 minutes, and then my brain said, Honolulu? We're not going down. And I had to look again. Joyce, it says we're going to Honolulu. What the hell? Did I somehow get astro projected into another plane? What are we doing going to Honolulu? And come on, ladies and gentlemen, we are diverting this flight to Honolulu because of a health emergency. And Honolulu is the closest airport. So we will be diverting this plane and landing in Honolulu. We will get back to you with more information once Delta Airlines confirms how we're going to proceed from there. Because originally they thought they would pull in, refuel, and take off right away. They would drop the person off, but that didn't happen. So we wound up spending the night in Honolulu. Actually, I can't say we spent the night. We got off the plane about 11 o'clock p.m. And by the time we got our information got our baggage, got a hotel, and got a free Uber ride. Actually, I think it was Lyft. It was Lyft, not Uber. It was Lyft. We didn't check into the hotel until 5:30 a.m. We went to sleep at 6 and woke up at noon. And then we had about 6-7 hours to walk around Honolulu before we had to go back to the airport and take off, because they basically moved our flight to 11 p.m. the next night. Yeah, Raymond, when I put the freight cars on that side, I will shorten it. I will shorten it a bit, or if I have a Loco I don't think is great at pulling a lot of weight, I'll shorten the length. But if I'm running the freight on the long track, then I'll make it as long as possible. Because if I were to do all the containers, it would fill half the lane it's on. But I'm not worried about chasing tails and that. I guess to a degree I am. That's why I tend to shorten it if it's running on the short track. But otherwise, I just... yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. So I got Hapag Lloyd, a couple of those. DB Schenker, MSC, Hamburg Süd. There's the 2-1s. I'm so thrilled to have that. The Evergreen. I wanted one of those for a while. Maersk. There's the Australian one. The Austrians. Ned Lloyd. A couple of K-lines. And then the Max Bogle. Well, I would disagree that we're not beach folk. Joyce and I definitely love the ocean. I'm not the high heat and humidity of, say, a Hawaii that I could live there. It was beautiful to visit there. Our only negative was from my point of view, which is when I'm going somewhere, I don't care how nice the detour is, I want to be there. Especially when it's involving a plane, because instead of a 14-hour flight, Sydney or Los Angeles to Sydney, instead of a 14-hour flight, it became an 18-hour flight. 16 or 18-hour flight, because it was like 6 hours to Honolulu, then it was almost 11 hours from Honolulu to Sydney. Because we were actually out to the ocean way south of Honolulu, and we did a 90-degree bank and went back. So we flew like 6.5 hours to land at Honolulu. We had already gone past Honolulu and went back. And then it was another 10 to 11-hour flight from Honolulu to Sydney. And it was a very bumpy flight, which I didn't enjoy. So that was the only negative. Honolulu was beautiful. It was very beautiful. The beaches were beautiful. But I will say the whole Honolulu area, very, very built up, lots of high-rises. And that was one of the things with the beaches in Australia. Most of the beaches in Australia, the high-rises and the buildings are way off the beaches. The area to the beaches, in most cases, did not have massive human resort populations and everything else. You could stand on places at the beaches and see nothing human for a 180-degree arc. It was amazing. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Randall. No, we did not get laid in Honolulu. Well, let me rephrase that. We didn't get the flower ring in Honolulu. Yeah, I got to get some UK freight too, I think. Just for the heck of it. Break down and get a Class 37 of some kind. But it was, it was such an experience. And the other thing is, Joyce and I were packing for the cold of Australia, so we didn't have hot weather clothes. So we did have a couple of t-shirts, but we're in our jeans and socks, and we did roll up our pant legs and wade into the ocean in Honolulu. Let me see if I could do that. Hang on, hopefully this won't create issues. All right, we are in the Pacific Ocean.
Wearing our jeans and black shirts. We were not expecting a tropical holiday.
We're supposed to be in Sydney, Australia, and it's supposed to be cool. It is 85 or so and humid here, although there is a good breeze.
It is fantastic. This is so pretty.
It's an amazing view. If
I
you
can't get over the palm trees.
swing us around. Yeah, Joyce has been freaking out over the palm trees.
I've never seen a palm tree live. Just on pictures and
Yeah.
I've just.
So yeah, that was our. That was Joyce and I in Honolulu. Now here's the funny thing: that sand there came from Australia. After a massive storm, cyclone or whatever hit Hawaii years ago, they imported tons of sand, that very nice soft sand. They imported that from near where Artie lives in Australia and relaid their beaches there. Hey, did I see Daz Faulkner is here? Hey, Daz, how do, my friend? How are you, Sir Daz? Hope you're well. So it was brilliant to You fell asleep. No worries, Dave. No worries. I just appreciate that you are so willing to pop in almost every Friday. Every Friday, really. Yeah, that is Diamond Head. And yes, Ray, when we were there, we were remembering your video that you guys were there and stayed in that area. We did not have the time nor the clothing to go hike to the top of the mountain. Joyce and I are used to hiking to the top of mountains. We did it in Australia this year, and we do it in Germany all the time. So hiking up to the top of mountains isn't a big... Yes, that's my new toy, CMD. That is my new toy, my Czech Vectron. I got it yesterday. It's my Father's Day gift from Joyce. Yeah, you were dedicated. Popping in on your wedding day, that's dedicated. But the thing is, now Joyce and I, we've seen the North Sea. We've seen the English Channel. We've seen the Irish Sea. We've seen the waters around the UK. We've seen the North Sea. I've seen the Baltic Sea. I live on one of the Great Lakes, and I've been to all 5 of the Great Lakes. Lake Superior is a must-see in your life. So I'm used to big water. I've been to the Atlantic Ocean, but the Pacific Ocean is a totally different beast. And seeing it from the shores of Honolulu and then the Australian side and the Tasman Sea, Joyce fell, well, I think we both did. I like to use Joyce as the example. Joyce fell in love. Like, I never had a desire to go to Honolulu. I'm not a Hawaii tropical guy. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not the place in the world that I've got way too many places in Europe I still want to see. And the tropics are not my thing. I'm sort of meh about the tropics. But it was very beautiful there, if a little bit over commercial and mass humanity there. But Joy saw a palm tree for the first time in her life. Now, I've been to Florida, so I've seen palm trees. I've been to South Carolina, so I've seen palm trees. But Joyce hadn't. So Joyce saw a palm tree for the first time in Honolulu. And, oh my God, the grin on her, you know, it's a palm tree. And she went under one, and she was trying to do a bit of a hula and having fun and talking to some locals. And some kids were playing. And then right behind her on the other side of a tree, a coconut fell out of the palm tree. What was that? I said that was a coconut. And that's why you don't play under palm trees. But, oh yeah, Joyce loved it. And then, and we were talking to Artie, and, you know, we were saying, well, we got diverted to Honolulu, and it was very pretty. But Artie said, well, you need to come back and maybe stop off at Honolulu. I was like, nah, I don't need to stop off at Honolulu. And Joyce looked at me like, the hell? Joyce has now decided the next time we head that way, we're spending a week in Honolulu. So apparently we're going to do like 3 or 4 days in Honolulu, then New Zealand for 3 or 4 days, and then go over to Australia for maybe 2 weeks. But that'll be down the road before we do that again. But yeah, Joyce looked at me and said, we're coming back. I laughed. I was sitting there going, nah, this was it. I don't need to come back to Honolulu. And Joyce looked at me like, yeah, we're coming back. Yeah, it's hard for Australians. Well, it's expensive for us to come down there. But to me, the hardest part of Australia is that the main civilization centers, Brisbane, Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne, are as far away from each other as New York to Kansas City, or Kansas City to Los Angeles. They're a long ways away. I think Sydney to Melbourne is about the same driving time as me going to Philadelphia or maybe even New York. And of course, Australia has slower speed limits. Like the fastest you can go on an Australian highway is 110 kilometers an hour, which is about 64 miles an hour, give or take. I think there's one place where it can go up to 120, which is a little closer to 70. Too old to travel now? Oh, that sounds cool. But, you know, for me, I would not want to drive in Australia, at least the East Coast area, because there's too many, even for the main highways, there's too many winds and up into the mountains where you go around these curves and there's a huge drop-off right next to where you're driving. And that, my fear of heights goes into overdrive with that. I'm like, ah! You know, Artie's driving and we're going the highway out of Wollongong and up into the hills, and it's still the highway, and there's these big curves, and you're going around these curves, and it's a 400 or 500 foot drop off side of a mountain, and I'm right next to it because it's one lane, and I'm hanging on to the door like, I don't want to look, I don't want to look, I don't want to look. And Artie's going around this curve at 80 kilometers, which is 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour. And I'm just like, no, thank you. Philly is 10 to 12 hour drive depending on stops and construction. Well, my dearest daughter, my love, that's interesting because I think I've made it that far in like 9 hours, but I don't stop as often as everybody else does. And by the way, if you're relatively new to the channel, that Lindy loves is my oldest child, my elder daughter, Lynn, the mother of my grandson. Hi, Kyan. Did you see Opa's new train? But like New York, I remember when I drove to New York when John Lennon was killed. That took me, and I think I stopped once to go to the bathroom. That took me about 10, 11 hours to go straight across to New York. Well, we have to wait for Joyce to get down here before we do the official Cayenne greeting. Hey, Kieran, how are you? Sir Kieran, great. Yeah, well, Australia has a rule, like you're supposed to stop every 2 hours and take a break, but I don't. I can drive as long as my bladder lets me, which could be 5 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours. It just depends on what I had to drink and how much I had to drink before I started going. Now, one thing I put up a post and then I deleted it because the post turned into exactly what I didn't want it to turn into. I was asking for some help. Joyce and I have a new song ready to come out, although she's thinking of re-recording a couple of bits now, that we've edited, but I'm trying to make the video. But the point of the video is about lemons. Model trains that, you know, just across the hobby, when they were released, everybody or the majority of people considered that model a lemon. You know, that it was bad from the word go, bad production values. Not, well, I hate all Hornby or I hate all Piko or whatever, just, oh, when this company released that model, it was bad. Like Roco released a class 218 that I bought that really got bad reviews because they had problems with it all through production. They canceled the production and then thought they fixed the problems, released it, and it still has problems. So it's like, I wanted, but it also needs to be recent where I could go on YouTube and find videos about these trains. And I just remember a couple of years ago that Hornby released a version of the Hush Hush that the vast majority of channels I watched where the people bought one had problems with it and complained about it. And just said that from production all the way through, it had been problematic and it was not a great model. Now, Hornby turned around and re-released it, and apparently that's a good model. But I remember the Hush Hush 2-3 years ago, they released a version of it. Everybody panned it. And so I used that as an example, and I got people, there's nothing wrong with the Hush Hush. And I was like, that's not what the videos at the time were saying. And it's not a time to argue whether a model was a good model or not. I'm seeking models where there would be a uniform. Also, something from 40 years ago isn't going to help me either because there's not going to be YouTube videos where guys are showing it and showing the problems. But that's what I needed. I needed some models that came out from Rapido, from Akira Scale, from Märklin, Roco, any company, Kato, where it just was one of those where something was wrong in the design or the production, where the model was bad. Not ugly, not just that it was mechanically, it had an issue with it where they might have recalled it or had, they had to keep being fixed. I remember Peter Dixon and Alan at Dragon Junction and Graham at Lakeside. There was a Class 37, I think it was, that they all bought, and it had problems, and like Graham had to send his back a couple times, and they wound up giving them the Loco for free and another one to boot, and Peter wound up fixing it himself, and Alan sent his back and got it fixed. But I need it to be something recent where the odds of me finding YouTube videos about it, or if you can link me videos where people are highlighting the problems with this model, because I don't want to use Sam's trains. Because he's got a couple of, over the years, he's got a few models where he just points out everything wrong with the model. But sometimes he's the only one that seems to have that problem with the model. But yeah, I was looking for help if anybody could help me with that. And so if you can email me or drop me a link even on the video, the comment section of this live stream, if you happen to think of it, just models that where you, your friends, and the people on YouTube, everybody was like, yeah, this was a bad model. The design people messed up, or they screwed this up. But like, I would want the model name, the company, and then I could get some images, because I can use images as well as video. Because we've got everything on the video done except the filmography. We've got the vocals all done, the music in, the lyrics in. We just need to find the images, because I have in my head what I want to do, but I don't know if I can really do it. I can think of other toy ranges where companies killed themselves by rush releasing very bad toys. But yeah, I had like 10 comments. A couple were helpful, and a couple were just people looking to be argumentative already. I was like, I didn't want it to be argumentative. I'm not here to debate whether I just remember a lot of people had issues with one model or the other, and so I used that as an example for what I was looking for. For example, I could talk about that Mallard running on the floor below me, because that is, I think that's 4428, Hornby 4428. And I know a couple other channels that when they got one, they thought it was a little less than well built. And I certainly have issues with it. It runs, and I can get it running, but it definitely has got some very sloppy, weak construction value to it. The more I've been drinking, no, I'd say the opposite. The less I drink, the more I can drive. But yeah, I can go long distances. I can hold my bladder. All right, good night. take care. But I just know, like, and I don't want to bash one company. You know, I think like Rapido UK had a string there where a lot of their models were struggling. I know Hellion, especially their UK models, Hellion can, or Helgen as some people say, but I believe it's Hellion is the proper pronunciation. And like, you know, companies like Mahano where, well, if it's this line, it's really bad, and if it's this line, it's pretty good. But I don't want to talk about the lines. I want to talk specifically about one model, because that's what the song is. It's about the one train you really wanted to buy, and then when it was released, it was a piece of shit. So, nobody's posted anything in the chat. Wow, I lost a lot of people. I was up to 42 and now we're down to 29. Ah, well. But yeah, so driving in, too much bladder talk. But yeah, I never drove in Australia. Artie was going to get me to drive, but we never did the little drive around town where I was going to try to drive. But man, there's not many straight, non-windy roads. Also roads that don't go up into the mountains. You can't avoid the mountains in that part of Australia. Now, if I go the other side of the continent, then I'm sure there's a lot of flat, open area, but then the heat would kill you. All right, Dave, take care. Have fun with the in-laws. Well, thank you, Dave. It is great to be back. I'm already missing Australia. There was so many cool things, but it is nice to be back in your own bed and back to my layout and trains. But you know, it was sad to see. It was sad to see it all end. It was sad for the trip to end. We put a lot of life into those 3 weeks. It was absolutely jaw-dropping amazing. Australia is the part of Australia we saw, absolutely beautiful. I got to briefly swim in the ocean. I think the video, because Joyce had a mishap with my camera and wound up not recording me swimming, so we had to use Artie's video. But if you go to the video I posted of me going into the ocean, it's kind of funny because they're way back. They are at the far, you know, where the beach starts, and I'm going into the water, so I can't hear them. The waves are crashing, the wind is blowing, so I can't hear them. But Artie thought I was just going to wade out. I was like, I've got my swim trunks on. But Artie thought I was only going to wade out about waist deep and come back. And the funny thing is, he's out there, and the water's splashing around me as the waves are coming in. And he says to Joyce, he's talking to Joyce, he says, oh, Anthony's going to get a bit of a wetting if he's not careful. And Joyce just says, he's going to go in. He's going all in. And the problem is, when I got out into the water, I was going to walk straight out, get about chest high, and then dive into the first big wave, and then swim and swim and swim. But unfortunately, when as I was walking out to the beach about 50 yards, 50 meters from where I was, you could see a riptide. You could see there was a riptide at that part of the beach. And when I started going into the water, if you watch the video, you'll see me. I'm marching like I'm going straight in. And then I got about 3 feet into the water, and I stopped. I slowed down and then stopped because, again, the lakes, the Great Lakes can have riptides. The Great Lakes can have big waters and undertows. And I've swam in all of them. But I felt a bit of an undertow, and I felt as I walked onto the sand, because the tide is starting to come in. As I walk up there, the top layer of the beach was sliding away, and I could feel the water pulling. It had a strong pull outwards, so I didn't trust it. So instead of going out I went out about thigh-high deep. I intended to go all the way out and then dive head first into a big wave and swim back into shore or even sideways for a bit. But once I felt those conditions, I didn't trust it. So I decided instead to wait for a couple of big waves to crash, and then I would dive towards the shore into the back of the wave. It was... Hey, speak of the devil, there's Artie. But I dove backwards towards shore because that way, if there was any pull, I wasn't that deep, and I could get my arms hard and deep into the soft and pull myself and prevent being pulled out. I do know how to work these things. So I'm not a novice. I'm not an idiot. So I recognize that those swimming conditions were not optimal, but it was the best day. We had a warm morning, relatively speaking. The water temperature was good. The storms were gone, and it just felt right. So Artie says, do you want to go swimming? I was like, yeah, let's go. And so he drove us out there. And the only sad thing is I left my trunks there. I left my swimsuit there. I thought after I took it off and put my jeans and, put my underwear and jeans on, I thought I'd wrapped the swim trunk up in the towel, and I threw the towel in my wet bag. And we drove home and threw all that stuff in the dryer, and then when we took it out of the dryer, there were no swim trunks. So my swim trunks are still somewhere in Australia. Hey, Sir Andy Dobson, how are you? And Monsville, hello, Mun. Hey, Mun. It's not a question of letting others be the judge of that. I will never argue with a pro, but there is a swimming area, and they do have conditions marked. There were no warning conditions up, and there was no lifeguard on duty. The couple of beaches actually had lifeguard spotters in buildings. But yeah, the funny thing is, Artie is talking to Joyce in the video, and he's like, don't go out any further. And my brain's already saying, I'm not going out further. I'm not going out any further. This is as far as I'm going, and then I'll swim back inwards. It just wasn't quite as, really hitting the big wave. Because if you watch, when I walk out, I'm 6'3". There's a 7 to 8 foot wave that is coming up, but it dies about 15, 20 feet in front of me. I'm like, come on, baby! Come to daddy! Come on, wave! Hit me hard! And then it just petered out. I went, ah. Actually, it was a woman. The lifeguard that was there that we saw walking away, locking things up and walking away, was a woman. Hey, Sir Andy from the March West Junction, welcome in. Great to have you here. But I wasn't worried about that because Joyce was there to give me mouth-to-mouth if I needed it. And there's nobody I'd rather get mouth-to-mouth from. And sadly, the second dive, the wave hit, I dove into the wave, and it shot me over about 10 feet onto a little sandbar. So I swam about 5-10 feet, and I'm out of the water. Because the water receded, and I'm just sitting there like a beached whale. Yeah, chest compressions may take... Well, the problem is, with Joyce involved, who'd be... Never mind, I won't make any more jokes about chest compressions with my daughter watching. But if you have watched the video, the dip takes a dip. Just fast forward to the end when Artie's asking me at the end, how did I like it? I look like a kid who just got the pony on Christmas. Oh my God! It was such a pipe dream. It was a dream come true. I finally got to swim in the Pacific Ocean. But I am an excellent swimmer. Even to this day, at my age, I am still a very good swimmer. Well, Jean Ricard, that's a personal question. But I wasn't talking combat. You guys decided you weren't coming in to rescue me. Really? Because Artie, that's what you're saying on the video too. You're like, I don't want to have to go rescue him. Did I drink any good beers? Yeah, I mean, I had a Tooheys. Tooheys is a very good Australian brand. I had a Tooheys Gold and a Tooheys New. And I'm trying to think what other beers I had. I think I had a Great Northern once, which was pretty good. I don't think I had the Victoria Bitters, the VB. I did not get a Victoria Bitters. But I did like the Tooheys. It wasn't the best beer I've ever had, but it was a good beer. No, Jean Ricard, we don't do Fosters. Well, now you're getting into particular taste. You know, I like Tooheys. I won't say it's a great beer compared to some of the best German beers I've had. But hey, Sir Andy 741, how are you? Great to have you. Actually, I think my trunks were similar to SpongeBob's now that I think about it. No, his are a little louder than mine. But yeah, I left my trunks in Australia. I swear I had them, but I must have set them down on the bench. Because, you know, that's the thing. Some of these beaches, they don't care. So I went up the stairs. They had closed the swimming area where they have changing rooms and that. But Joyce just held up a giant towel while I took my swim trunks off and put my regular clothes on. Because I wore my swim trunks and a pair of sweats down to the beach, and then I just took the sweats off and ran into the water, or marched into the water. But then I had dry clothes because we were going to go out to dinner and stuff afterwards, or go shopping or something afterwards. So I had dry clothes. Yeah, and craft beers gets to be a thing where everybody's anything, you know, where everybody's like, oh, mass-produced is automatically bad. No, I mean, there's a lot of great mass-produced beers. If you get Beck's in Germany, it's very good. If you get anywhere else, it sucks. Staroprova from the Czech Republic is mass-produced, but it's damn good beer. Gran Primavera is a great Italian beer that's mass-produced. It's not available in the U.S., but it's available in Europe. That's really good. That's probably one of my top 5 favorite beers. And trust me, it is almost causing my tongue to leap out of my mouth to say that an Italian beer was a good beer. Yeah, I have had the best beer in the world, Jean Ricard, but it wasn't from Denmark. Hey, Kyriakos! Salute! How are you, my friend? Welcome in. Great to have you. Well, here, let's go ahead and see if we can find that. It'll take me a couple of minutes. All right, I'm going to show this. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Got to go back. So this is Artie's video of me. So that's when I first feel that the waves are, that the beach and the waves are not trustworthy. So I was marching pretty fast, but I slowed down. So now I'm going careful.
Yep.
I'm feeling for where there's more secure sand. Watching the waves crash. Looking at those big waves over my head and just going, oh, I want to go out there, but I probably shouldn't go out there. Wait for the water to hit my balls.
You get him a wetsuit.
Okay, I survived,
Yep.
not too cold. And I look at that big wave and I'm like, oh, that would be fun, but I really can't go out much further.
Really get dunked?
I think he's gonna go all the way in.
Don't go too much further.
So I go out a little deeper, but like I said, I decided I was not going out any more than thigh high because I just didn't trust the water. And now that big wave comes and I'm like, okay. So I'm waiting for a bigger wave to come that I can dive into from behind. And I see these 2, 3 coming. And I see that one, I'm like, oh my God, I want to run out there, but I can't. So here, this one came in a little higher, so yep, I can go in. There we go, swim about 10 feet, 15 feet. There I did it, I'm in the ocean, yay.
Oh, it did.
Pardon? I got it.
looking at those two big waves. Everything in my body wants me to go out further, especially that third big one. And then I'm like, okay, it's getting a little wilder. I'm feeling a little pull here. And you can see this one wave coming in sideways. And I decide to ride that one, and it pushes me right up onto the sandbar, splat. So then, here's Artie's interview.
So how was it?
Awesome. It's actually fairly warm.
You gonna go back in?
You said you really didn't film it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you commenting while you were filming it? Well, the thing is, a couple of surfers came out right after when I was coming in, a couple of surfers went out. And so I actually had a nice chat with a surfer. He was looking at me going, "You went swimming?" I said, "Well, I just kind of ducked in for a bit." And he says, "What? How was the water?" I said, "It was great." I said, "I've never swam in the ocean before, and this is my only chance. I had to do it." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Well, I've been in the Atlantic Ocean once, but this is the first time in the Pacific." And oh yeah, it was funny. Hey, did I see Mav is here? Hey, Sir Mav, welcome in. And just a second here, we will turn this camera around and get you in and on. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on camera.
Okay. Need a mic.
Oh yeah, right. You need a mic. Here, have a mic.
Ready as I am.
Have a mic.
Hi, Mike.
Or have an Anthony. It's Joyce, everybody.
Oh boy. Okay, let me back up
It's
here.
Joyce.
Over here. All right. So first of all, hi everybody. And let's see if I can catch up here. So so hi Leslie.
They're asking if you're going to do a hula dance because of your love of
Oh
Hawaii.
my goodness.
Because you did one. Remember, you did a
Hi
little.
Mav. Hi Sean.
No live
I
demonstrations.
see you too.
Apparently.
Hi Andy. Hi Andy. 81.
Just say hi, all Andys.
Yeah,
There's a few
hi to
here.
all Andys. That's it. So hey Valley.
Chris.
Bunny misses me already. Is she glad to be hearing us though? I hope.
Oh, that's right. Hi, Pixie. Oh,
So,
your grandson
hi,
was here
Pixie.
earlier.
Okay.
Lindy, if you're still watching, is Kyan watching?
Yeah, let us know. Hi Greg. Again, it was great to see you. Hi Mons.
Yes, it was awesome to meet you. I talked
Hi,
about
Tom.
that
Hi,
before
Mick.
you came in, but oh, it was
Hi
such an honor.
Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Hi
Such
Colin.
an honor to meet Greg. It was such an honor to meet Greg and
Uh,
Gary and Richard.
Good day, Mav. Yeah. So, Dino! Hey, Raymond! Hi, Carl! I think I'm getting there.
Oh, there's Carl. Hey, Carl. Hello, Sir Carl.
Didn't get you with zero. So anyway, I know Anthony's been, well, you're starting to gain light now, Artie, so there's something.
Artie, the positive is now that we've left, the days are going to start getting longer for you.
Right, and holy moly, did the heat ramp up here, so it is what it is.
Trust me, we wouldn't mind sending you about 20 degrees of what we got here.
Yeah, we could absolutely average it out a bit. That's for
Fahrenheit.
Sure.
10 degrees Celsius for you.
I hope Pixie's happy to have you and not worried about other people in the house. Say, hey, Randall.
And don't forget, we also take your bed and your bedroom and a lot of the food in your refrigerator.
Ooh.
Although I did win you some food.
That's chilly.
I did win you some food.
That's true. That saved you some money because you didn't have to, buy anything for dinner that night. Well, we did, but.
Right. Yes, I have entered many a lottery and raffle and never won. I go to Australia. First night in Australia.
Oh, Greg, the honor was ours. We were just, happy to see you. It was so nice. And yeah, we had really enjoyed it. It was a very different vacation.
Hey, Brian, Sir Brian, how are you? Great to have you here. I hope you've been well.
Yeah, the tomato ketchup.
Tomato sauce.
Yeah. She's lucky. She thinks you dumped our bodies, huh? And what'd you do with them, huh? Aw, poor Pixie, hey, sweetie. A little scratch between the ears and over the ears.
Kieran says hi.
Hi, Kieran.
Yeah, she's been looking for my cord.
Where's
that delicious?
Really?
Where's that delicious American cord?
Right, a different taste.
He says she went back there. Oh, you might have heard that when he called me.
What's that?
She went back where my cord's usually plugged in,
looking for them. Oh, I didn't hear that. It's like, come on, they're back here somewhere.
Yes. For all of you that have been to Artie's live stream where over the years he has chased the rabbit. And
right.
Get out of there. Stop chewing on that. Yeah.
Right.
That's no ordinary rabbit. She's got huge teeth that she...
Yeah. She's hearing us and looking for us. Oh, my.
You're going to feel guilty
Yes,
now.
I don't want things to be harder for you, Artie. Anyway, Pixie, you be a good girl. Quit eating the house. Yeah, we did have fun, that's for sure.
Nothing but fun.
Yeah.
It was...
Quite an experience. Very different world.
It was amazing, crazy, out of this world, nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
The places we went, the things we've seen. Now, it was nice to finally get Joyce on the last full day to grin again. Rainforest.
Right, yeah. Oh, it
See?
beautiful.
All I have to say is the word rainforest right now.
I know where you were going.
I know, but I'm just
beautiful.
demonstrating to the studio audience.
Yeah, Mons, Artie was saying where you could not have them. They're not legal everywhere.
Yeah.
But, he takes care of it well and keeps it contained.
Well, we didn't have to rush. We didn't have to rush. You had so much you wanted to show us, and even then we didn't get more than the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it was okay.
But yeah, we there we go.
You say so.
What?
Mons says they're great pets. Pixie didn't win me over for having rabbits.
She don't win you over for having rabbits as a pet.
No, she did not.
No, Pixie chews on cords plugged in. Now, I've got a cat that does that. The difference is I'm trying to save Pixie. If my cat were to chew on a cord and zap herself into another realm, I'd be happy. It would be worth losing a lamp.
Sorry, y'all. This is taking its time. I'm definitely getting better, but
Is there a snake in his boot? Is that code?
that's what I was sort of wondering. Does that mean something different than we think it does? He said, I already told us the snakes were hibernating. It's winter. We weren't too worried about them, but I sure didn't go wandering in tall grasses either. Stayed on the path.
Nope, the only animal that attacked us in Australia was an echidna. And it stupidly took on Artie's car.
Yeah.
We're leaving out hope that it survived because we were driving slowly down a dark highway coming back from Phillips Island back into outside of Melbourne. And we had already just saved, well, I don't know if we saved, but we rescued a wallaby that had been hit by a car in the middle of the road. And then after feeling good about trying to save that poor helpless creature, we're driving in the dark on a highway that's got signs everywhere. Wombat crossing, deer crossing, kangaroo crossing, wallaby crossing, all these different things. And out of nowhere, this echidna came shooting across the highway, and it looked up into the headlights, and then it balled up. And there was a thump on the car, and all I saw was the ball rolling quickly that way. So I'm hoping that we just kind of field hockeyed it, and that it's okay.
Well, we're going to tell ourselves that, because of course we'll never know. As we will know with our attempts to save that wallaby.
Actually, we got to pet a drop bear.
Yes, we did.
We pet a drop bear.
Yeah. At the zoo.
At the zoo.
I know how to pick up a koala bear now. I paid attention. You have to grab it by its hands.
Yeah, you have to. You don't grab koala bears around the waist, even if you're trying to help them with something. You grab them by the arms.
Grab them by the arms, yeah.
You recently picked up an 080 Indiana Harbor Belt Railroad switcher, my first American Loco. Cool. I don't have an American Loco yet.
Yeah,
I have a fake American train. I have a German IC3 painted in Amtrak livery, which I'll have to get out again. Australian field hockey, yes.
Yeah, I suppose that's accurate. They say Anthony's not going to help you with American Loco.
Although I will say one of my favorite things about driving around the Melbourne area, because you don't...
Oh, it did. Oh, that's great, Artie. He says he called them up yesterday.
I was seeing that. You're not just saying that, are you, Artie? You're not just saying that to make us feel better.
Yeah. Really, I haven't been coughing. Then again, I don't think I've been talking this much, so...
You coughed all last night.
Yeah, that's true. Not all last night.
A lot.
But some.
We quibble over minutes.
I woke you up. I'm sorry.
No, I was awake. I woke up at 3:52 and never went back to sleep.
Oh. I woke up several times and then did go back to sleep.
You rang the park up. How'd that wallaby?
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Now I have to wonder if they just told you that to make you feel better.
Right, I can understand that. Well, Artie handled the wallaby like the pro.
Wallabies.
Well, he completely...
Oh, koala. The koala. Yeah, koalas.
Yeah, well, they've got very sharp...
They've got very sharp claws.
Yeah.
And
no, I think he wrapped up the wall...
As slow-moving as they are, when they want to defend themselves,
yeah,
suddenly they get lightning speed.
Artie wrapped the wallaby up very well. So.
Yeah, we saved the wallaby. And if you've never seen the hands of a wallaby or a kangaroo, when they actually spread their fingers out, they got some major razor blade knife fingers. They make Wolverine look like, oh, I don't know. I ran out of my metaphor here.
Right. Oh, a showgirl.
They're natural Wolverines. Let's put it that
I
way.
think a showgirl.
Snicked.
Yeah.
Except they got 5, where Wolverine's only got 3.
Yeah. Already clearly knew what he was doing.
You handled a wallaby once? Gee, Andy Hot Dog Pilot, how do you know about a wild Simon Kohler?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I guess I hadn't heard that.
We used to go hit the red light districts together.
Yeah, I just held it and crooned to it.
Yeah, Joyce held it, cuddled it like a baby, talked sweetly to it.
Told it it was very sorry it was having such a bad day.
Oh, you're having... Never try to pick an elephant out.
You know, when you're...
Well,
that's
I'm
all
not
you
into
do
that kind of
when
thing
you are
anyhow.
trying to sue something. It doesn't have to make sense what you're saying. Or be a gross exaggeration.
Yeah, I hand-fed a couple of kangaroos. The smaller grays, not the big grays, the smaller grays.
Right.
I even talked to one and got it to come to me.
Yes, he did. That was at that park again.
Of
That
course,
was a good place to go to.
of course, the best animal besides the albino peacock was the macaw.
Oh gosh, yes.
Mac the macaw. There's this macaw at this place that has a vicious sense of humor. It can say a few phrases, but it likes to say hello very softly. Hello. 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 And it'll keep saying hello, and you'll say hello back. And it'll say hello. So you'll come up to it.
Draws you in.
It draws you in. Hello. So you will come up closer. Hello. Hello. Until you get right up to it. It'll go, hello. And you'll go, hello. And it'll go,
Yeah.
and the lady was saying it loves to do that to kids to make, because after it makes the kids scream, it laughs.
Well, it makes them cry, the little ones. It really goes for the criers.
Yeah, because it did it to Joyce and got Joyce to jump, and then the damn thing actually laughed. I've got it on video.
Yeah.
I did get it on video where it's cackling
Yeah,
after it did it.
except Artie did the opposite to it. He lured it in with a hello, hello, and then went boo. And the parrot jumped back. He was not amused.
Yeah, Artie got revenge. He did it to the macaw.
Yeah.
The macaw was not happy with that.
It was good.
Now see, Chris, I wouldn't
Man,
have to...
this was quite a trip.
I would not have to teach a parrot or any mocking,
he wasn't
mimicking
happy with
bird.
you at all.
I wouldn't have to teach. They would just have to hang around me for 10 minutes.
And then it would swear like a rabbit.
Yeah, I
I should have said the language. He'd swear like a sailor. That's what I meant to say. That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. Yeah, Artie and Anthony were quite a pair down there in Australia, working together with your unusual sense of humor.
specifically where? I mean, besides the
I
animal
don't
place?
know. Yeah, just anywhere we
Anywhere,
went.
yeah. Anywhere somebody gave
Yeah.
us the opportunity, Artie and I just tag teamed.
Yeah,
and
they did. Yeah.
we didn't go out of our way to mess with people, but we had some fun because the Australians banter. They're like the Scots and the Liverpudlians.
Yeah, I already had a hard time. You do know I just been around enough here. I know how it is.
Look who she's married to.
And it is. Look who I'm married to is also an important factor there.
It's hard to pull one on Joyce. It's hard to pull one on Joyce.
Yeah.
Joyce has a sense of distrust over anything that involves a man
Scheming.
scheming.
Recognize the twinkle, you know.
Yeah,
that
she'll
kind of
recognize
stuff.
it to you. Anthony, what are you up to? Nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Right. Oh, man.
You picked a few strange things up in Amsterdam. What were their names?
Or who are their names?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You've all seen that look, too. It's been given on these live feeds.
Yeah, Joyce has got the, do you really think I'm that dumb look?
The school mom.
Do I look blonde to you?
That's true, and I do teach 10-year-olds. That's got a little to do with
Yeah,
it,
and
too.
then being a teacher for 30 plus years, because let's face it, when guys are up to no good, we're no different than a 10-year-old up to no good.
Right.
The same twinkle in the eye, the same guilty look, even when we're trying to look innocent.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the sarcasm
We had fun, Artie.
levels in this house are so high.
They are.
Like, my son would ask questions, and I would give him such straight BS answers that eventually, by the age of 8, he would look to Joyce and go, "Mom, is that true?"
It's true. He would look for verification.
Is Dad with me again, or is it serious this time?
Little mouse with clogs on.
Little mouse with clogs on.
I'm not going back to that shop. Oh,
Oh, wow, that's funny, Andy. That's funny.
with Nan. That's funny.
Oh, that's interesting, Raymond. Shirley,
that
you
is
must
cool.
be joking. I'm not joking, and don't call me Shirley.
Right.
Yeah, I just came across that somewhere else.
Okay.
Now that you mention it, Raymond, the name got to me. Netherlands 0, France 0.
They're playing now? It's kind of late.
Yeah, it would be. It's
10 o'clock.
but maybe that was the score from earlier.
11
I
o'clock?
watched Poland get beat by Austria. I watched the
Austria,
Austrian-Poland
that's
game.
right.
Like to have seen the Dutch beat the French.
Well, Artie took us to a train museum.
Yeah, the video should almost be done. I'll be uploading it after the live stream, but I'll have a video. It's about an hour long of the New South Wales Railway Museum. It's not a professionally made. It's just a couple of tourists, well, one tourist, me, filming and trying to get everything in. Us-
Definitely compared to the York train museum. I think they had more locals than the Australian one. You don't think so?
No.
And they're all indoor in York, where they had an
No,
outdoor.
now you got to remember, York had another
I know it
hallway
is.
closed off and had a lot more there. Plus, they got a bunch outside that we didn't go to.
Oh, well, okay then.
York is big.
That's not a fair assessment then.
But it was
Remember, this
big
one
and it was
very
impressive.
big. It had a lot of locos. I thought it was very, very cool.
And York's,
Good
the
number you could
locomotives
go
at
into
York
too.
are...
That was cool.
Now, I don't want to say this where it comes across insulting. I don't mean it that way at all. Just, I hope you understand what I say. The ones at York are in higher levels of restoration. The ones
That's true.
The ones at New South Wales are either fully restored or in the process of being restored. They're acquiring this stuff whereas most of the stuff that's on display at York has already been restored.
Oh, okay, so you got a new one. Yeah, wow, okay. Is that unusual
So we
to
got out
snow
of
near the museum?
You're saying we got out of Australia just in time.
Just in time?
We avoided the snow.
I peeked at Berkeley. It looked about the same.
But we saw whales.
We saw whales.
I mean, we've seen whales, well, 3 times now. We saw
Yeah.
the whole country of Wales,
True.
north and south.
Yeah, we have. Very,
And then
very
we saw
pretty.
the animal whales a couple
Wales
of times.
is a gorgeous country.
Oh my God. Yeah, Wales is a gorgeous country. But then, now, we were supposed to take a boat trip to go see whales up close, and that got canceled.
Yeah.
But later in that day, we went back up north, well, towards Sydney, and
That's
went
not
to
the day we
this
saw.
beach. Went to this beach, and
No,
that was
that's not the same day.
I thought it was the same day.
No, we went to the big waves on the day we were canceled.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, we it was disappointing, but it was
But we still saw whales.
yeah, but unfortunately we were able to see whales.
Artie, what
From
beach
the
was it?
shore.
It was Hill 60. We were up at that observation, Hill 60 observation post, the old military observation post. And there was just dozens of whales out there. We saw the bodies of a few, but you could just see them. The blowholes, they would surface and, blow out the water and take a breath and then go back under. And they were just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, so Hill 60, what beach is it close to? That was a really great view. I mean, obviously it's what it's for, but
All right, good night, Kieran.
we saw some wonderful things. Night, Kieran. Wow, you had 2 heaters.
But yeah, that was so cool because we saw a big one. It's a southern
Okay.
right whale.
He answered it's above the Port Clemba.
Okay, yeah, so
Kembla.
it's above Port
I added
Kembla
an L
Beach.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is where you went swimming, I think.
yeah.
Was it the same day?
No,
Okay.
no.
It's all blurring together, Artie. Good thing we've got the
thing is,
video and
some
the
of the names of
pictures
these
to sort
because
them
there's
and order them.
there's Mount Kembla and then there's Port Kembla,
Right.
which is around Mount Kembla, and then there's Port Kembla Beach. Then there's the Blue Mile that we did that, and we haven't even talked about Kiama.
Oh, yeah.
Kiama. And the
Blowholes.
blowholes.
Yeah, those are great.
Those were cool.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, when you start talking places, we have a reference. That's great. Oh, wow. They were the right whales because they were full of oil.
Which one did we kill? That's the right whale. Okay. Wow, that's sad.
Yeah, really. Got that right. Oh, my. Ba-dum-bum.
So you got that same. Chris and Leslie were on top of that story.
Yeah.
So, but we saw a big one. The at Port Kembla Beach, we saw the one where you could just because his body was staying
Yeah.
up, where we were seeing all the other ones just flown up.
Right.
He was floating at the surface.
Right, he was. Yeah. You
So
could
even though
easily
we
see
didn't
him.
get up too close, some people are blowholes. Well, what people are you referring
I
to,
was
Raymond?
gonna say, hopefully we're not referring to too many people here.
I don't know if we should be offended at that
I
or not.
know. You left them speechless for a moment there.
But, so, we saw whales and, there were certain things I'm glad we didn't see. Like, I didn't want to run into, the redback spider. I didn't want to run into one of those.
Yeah.
don't think Lynn ever answered me about Kyan.
Yeah, if she's back or not, or if he's in or not. Huh.
That's right, Raymond. Sperm and holes we've evolved.
Well, I didn't think it quite went over there.
No,
Gaza?
Gaza S2, we wouldn't be, I wouldn't be running my trains.
Yeah,
and,
this feels like home.
No,
Yeah.
we're home. We're home, running the trains.
Yeah, he didn't want to run any
Sport-
sharks
and by
either.
the way, this amazing shirt you can buy at the New South Wales Model Train,
Right.
or
yeah.
not Model Train, Railway Museum.
Model
this
train
is a very cool train.
goes into his heartbeat. Yeah, Anthony
Yeah,
had
the
to get that
heartbeat goes
one.
into a train, yeah.
Already helped him find the right size. They went through a lot of shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on vacation too.
Yeah, we didn't see any sharks. It was so funny how many people on my swim video were
Right.
like, "Wow, you did that there? That's Australia. There are sharks." It's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's fall. The sharks tend to be much further out at this time if they haven't followed
Warmer water?
the other animals
I
to
don't know. Do sharks migrate to warmer water?
Vera Lang sang the whale meat song. I only know one Vera Lang song. Vera Lynn, not Vera Lang, Vera Lynn.
We left a mess? Where'd we leave a mess?
We gave those ladies something to do. We left a mess. Where did we leave a mess?
Well, I think he's being funny, but I'm not quite sure what, I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
What the relation? It was the weekend.
Yeah, it's the spermaceti, the stuff in their head. Oh, we didn't know what to expect with Australia. I mean, you could see pictures, you could see videos,
Okay.
but being there was so different.
Yeah, it was.
There was no way Australia was going to disappoint us.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I think we're over the jet lag.
I think we're close. I mean, looking at myself in this video, I
speaking
still
of which,
look
can you hand me
tired.
that box?
I look tired, but which I've been sleeping fine. So
Well, Artie, unfortunately, this came in the mail while we were in,
yeah, in
Australia.
Too many bones in that American snack.
I don't remember ordering pigeons.
No, we did not go to Manly in Sydney. I don't think we did. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
it's
it
got
comes
order.
painted.
Ooh. Is that the only one you ordered?
Well, we got a little Artie with us.
Yes, we have a little Artie along.
I ordered it from Mini
Hi,
Prints
March
and it
West.
came in.
Andrew
We've got
Wright.
an Artie. I didn't know it came pre-painted. So you don't have us
gotcha.
anymore, but we still got you with us. And by the way, I mailed off your stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everything's mailed now.
So we have a little HO scaled Artie. So you don't have us, but we still have you.
Yeah, so we have you.
Oh, Andy March West Junction says hello.
He says, is it blue? Is it blue?
Is it blue? He sounds a little depressed.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to cheer it up. It's collared, your jeans and a red shirt.
Ah! Now the tables are turned, you bastard! Now you're gonna know what it feels like, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, we didn't have any problems with it.
There! Now you know I like to be on the receiving end!
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed it, guys. It was great.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to say that and got distracted. There's...
Is there corks on the hats? People keep asking questions about this figure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
You know, it is little. You'd have to have a magnifying glass. Yeah, it looked like it.
But yeah, it's Artie's one hat. Yeah, they painted it up well. I did not know they were gonna come pre-painted.
That is a good deal.
Good deal. Good deal.
Good deal.
Don't remember ordering pigeons. I got a couple of rail fanners, and then package delivery guys,
Okay.
UPS guys.
Yeah. I assume you ordered them unless
But,
he throws extras in when you
know,
order.
But I don't know how to explain it other than Australia was more fun, and I think we fell in love with Australia more than we expected to.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, we knew we were going to enjoy it. We knew we were going to see cool
Died
things.
in the trash.
But we fell in love with Australia. To the point where, because not only did Joyce fall in love with Australia like I did, Joyce fell in love with someplace else. And when somebody said, hey, you should...
I really was talking mostly to break up the trip. I don't want to do 13 hours at one time. But,
No. Even before you decided that, you talked about going to Honolulu. I was like, yeah. I said early in our trip, I said, but I don't feel the need to ever go back to Honolulu or Hawaii. And you raised your eyes and looked at me and said, oh, I don't know about that. Somebody wants to go back to Honolulu.
Well, people, you know, I posted it on Facebook and people started giving suggestions of things to do in Honolulu, and that piqued my interest too.
Ah, to hell with them.
No. Delta.
No, we did not. We flew Delta. We did not fly Qantas. We've been advised by many Australian friends to avoid Qantas.
Yeah, and that,
But, so now somebody wants to go back to Hawaii and see more and swim in the ocean there and...
yeah, because, you know, we had our bathing suits because we had our suitcases, but there was no way I wanted my bathing suit stuffed in a hold of a suitcase for how many hours, you know, ew.
What's that? What is...
Wet, you know what I mean.
Trying to see what Andy81 said. Maybe he meant Andy T. Well, Gaza, we didn't see everything, but we saw a ton of stuff from Sydney down to Melbourne. We went to Melbourne and spent a couple of days in Melbourne. We did not stop off in Canberra, which was a plan.
That's what I think, Mons.
But we went down to the Ned Kelly area and did a Ned Kelly visit and went through some of the Ned Kelly backcountry where the Bush Rangers hung out. Artie took us on a little tour of that region. And we went to Katoomba. We went to Minamura Rainforest and the Minamura Falls. We went to Kangaroo Valley.
Andy.
We went to Kangaroo Valley and Fitzroy Falls. We went to Saddleback Mountain, Mount Victoria. We went to the Three Sisters Monument. That was Katoomba.
Hello to Heather, Greg. It was nice to meet her.
Hi, Heather. Wonderful to meet you.
We did not see Fiji.
We did not go to Fiji.
It's another idea of somewhere to stop. I don't know. I think we could become...
Hawaii or Fiji.
I think we could... Yeah, not both. I agree. I think we could learn to be somewhat tropical people.
Well, now I'm going to have to let the Australians fight
That's
it out.
all
I've
right.
got
You
some
guys
Australians
duke
that
it
tell me
out.
avoid
Yeah.
Qantas, and I've got a couple of you saying you love Qantas.
Now, our Anthony definitely lost his trunks in Australia. Yeah, well, I would say we saw it. It was very dark.
Well, it was on the left side of the plane, and we were sitting on the right side.
Yeah, but I mean, we made the map so we could see when we were going over it. But no, I would open up the window. No, we were on the wing,
We
so
sat
you
on the
didn't
wing.
look down.
Literally, we sat on the wing. We
Yeah.
weren't inside in the cabin. We were out on the wing.
And so it was
damn
just
cold.
We were night completely over the Pacific Ocean. So we weren't seeing anything. Yeah,
That's
it sure
nice,
was. Yep.
Yeah, and we
didn't
saw
scare-
a large.
Those
large
cookies
mob.
were wonderful, Heather. They were gone by the next day.
Yeah, we
I
ate.
really liked them.
Yeah, your cookies were gone very quickly. Those were really good.
Yeah, they did it to me. Move this wing out of the. I demand you move this wing. I can't see Fiji.
How Karen is that?
So not like us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm way too sciencey here. That wing needs to be exactly where it is for us to stay where we are. Oh yeah, Andy, it was wonderful, and
He's relieved.
Yeah, he's relieved.
You were worried about us.
are
Andy.
you afraid we were going to stay there? I understand quite a few people do.
Yeah, we were hearing that a lot. People come to Australia and decide not to leave.
Yeah, I told Anthony we're upgrading at least one area next time we do a flight like that. Oh,
Yeah, next time we're flying over, we're going up at least one grade, either premium economy
we were
or.
Comfort Plus. Yeah, we got to go up whatever
Yeah,
the next
we
thing
already
is.
went up to Comfort Plus, but no, we're going up to premium economy next time we fly
And he
that
says,
long.
but it's I don't
If
care.
not- if-
we'll
if
pay
we-
it off.
Maybe we could even find a deal for first class.
Oh,
Because that was the sad thing. We got
Right.
offered to upgrade from where we were to business class for like $1,200 each. And normally it would have been about
yeah, but wasn't that on the
2,200
last
each
flight?
to
Which
upgrade.
isn't worth it.
no, it was for that flight
Yeah, all right.
where she said they didn't have first class. Well, it's business class.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's $1,200.
Hey, Levington.
But it was where we could have
Oh, it's
afforded
good.
it. We were in a situation where we could have afforded that upgrade to first class. But by the time we went to do it, it was gone. By the time I saw the offer and then found Joyce, talked to Joyce about it, and then we talked her over and said, yeah, let's do
yeah,
it.
he
It
found
was
me,
gone.
and there wasn't much talking. It was, hell yes, that's a great price. Do it.
Oh, there's a little bit longer than that.
Big thank you to Artie's Outback Motel and Grog Shop.
Yeah. It was.
Well, we know why, so.
Oh man, it was over. It was over too soon. And yes, we packed a lot in every day. But the thing is, you got it. All the credit goes to Artie.
It does.
Because
Yep.
he took us everywhere every day. His own ideas, things we had ideas for. And he had things, and one of the things is, he had things
Yeah.
he was disappointed in where Joyce and I are like, no, it was awesome, and he was upset.
Yeah,
Like
no,
the
we
dinner
were-
cruise. Asked Artie about the dinner cruise in Sydney,
Yeah.
the Vivid Lights dinner cruise
He
we
was
did.
upset
The
about
food was awful, but we enjoyed the
I
cruise and
found
what
the
we
cruise
saw.
very
He
comfortable.
was disappointed.
It was very relaxed.
But since he paid for that one,
Yeah, they are.
I guess he's got the right to be disappointed.
Hey, he can be. But we did all right, for sure. Hey, Ian.
Hello, Ian. Long time no see. Hope you are well. Yeah, you were pissed, and I think
I know
you've
you
gotten
were.
more pissed as time's gone by.
Right.
Whereas we thought the food and the way they did the food was stupid.
I mean, we could definitely see things they could and really should do better with that.
Right. For the money you pay.
You know, for one thing, they just should smish everybody on the inside and leave the windows free for people to go out and take pictures and look and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're right. We would have seen more. It
We
would
might
have been
have seen
colder
more
too.
from might have been able to film better, but
Yeah.
it was an experience. It was comfortable. We had good conversation, and,
And
we saw amazing things.
We saw a lot of the lights on, you know, while we were
We saw
not on a
Sydney
boat.
Harbor lit up.
And for heaven's
saw-
sakes, that restaurant's light games they had on the sidewalk, that was such a hoot.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one restaurant that had the little
Oh, people didn't like it?
interactive light display on
Oh,
the
I
sidewalk.
thought that was so much fun. You walked on it, and on the sidewalk, it projected down on the sidewalk, and where you stepped, it made light patterns on the
It reacts.
sidewalk.
For
Reactive,
example,
yeah.
one of the projections
It
on
was
the
really cool.
it projects down onto the sidewalk. So it does this water like it's a little stream, and if you walk across it, your feet make
Mm-hmm. Little
wherever you
splash.
step, it'll
Yeah.
make splashes and puddle
Right.
ripples. Then it does this bit where it's like a field, and as you walk across it, flowers spring up
Just one,
behind your
just
feet.
1 hour, Artie. We were kids that whole trip, but but yeah, that was a delight. We kept trying to get people to walk on it because everybody was walking on the sidewalk would go around it like, no, walk on it. You're supposed to walk on it.
I will have a video up tomorrow-ish, tonight or tomorrow,
I thought it was
from
a
the
hoot.
New South Wales Museum, Railway Museum.
Good.
But then the vacation videos will be shown up on Joyce's channel over the next few weeks.
I'm okay. 4-year-old is fine. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, that was funny. We had a great time.
I just thought it was clever, and why not?
You only live once.
Yep.
It was the sights we saw, the experiences we had, you know, it was better than we could have hoped. Because of course you're nervous, because when Joyce and I travel in Germany, we live alone, we know the train schedules, we know what time we have to be
We
where.
have a plan of what we're going to do.
And with Australia, because they don't have the rail system Germany has and the mass transit system the way Germany does,
Right.
plus we were living with Artie. So we're a burden. I know he says we aren't, but you do have
were.
2 people coming into your house, and everybody's routine is different. And we have to rely more on being driven around to places because it's not easy public access or public transport access.
Right.
So it was a very different type of vacation for us. So things could have gone wrong, but instead we saw and experienced more things than we could have planned. We might have hit 5 or 6 of the 20 things we saw and thought we had a good vacation.
Right.
Instead, we did those 5 or 6 things plus the other 15, 20 things, and we're just blown away. I mean, here's one, Artie. We had the greatest donut ever made. I don't like plain donuts. They're boring. No, we go to this little
Yeah, he wants
donut
things
van in
Frosting and raspberries.
this
and
little
like that in it.
little cafe donut place that
It
is
was a truck, I think.
no. It's a
Wasn't it a truck? Was it
it's like a permanently based one.
Like an Imbus. Yeah, the donut van. Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, the name
Well,
of the
they
shop is the Donut
They
Van.
were so fresh.
Oh
and you
my
almost
God.
burned your mouth on them. They were so
cook
fresh.
them when you order them.
Yeah.
They make it there. It's cooked there. It's not pre-processed.
been
They're
there 40
making the
years,
batter
yeah.
up themselves. They just dip it in a little bit of sugar and a
They
little
roll
bit
it,
of
sugar, cinnamon,
and
mix.
cinnamon.
Yep.
Most wonderful donut I've ever had. And it was
Oh,
a plain donut.
You bet, Mons. We were very aware of that. That having a personal guide was of quite the boon.
Right. Well, it's a country and a continent.
Yeah.
So
well,
we
you can
know how
see
big
how you can see how well loved it was.
it is. And we
There were a
spent
lot of people there.
2
and-
days in Sydney,
Yeah.
2 days in Melbourne, and we can already tell the difference between the cities and that. And then just all the stuff in between,
Right.
the vistas, the mountain views. You know, you stand on Port Kembla there's Lake Illawarra, this giant lake, beautiful, and then
Hey, he didn't charge us. We told him he
you
should
turn
have.
your head 5 inches, and there's the ocean.
Yeah, definitely.
Lake, little strip of land, ocean. Amazing.
That's true, Mons.
You know, now, if
It's true,
we're not going to
Artie.
talk negatives, but like Sydney and Melbourne, but maybe more Sydney, even Wollongong, the urban areas, because of the way the land forces you to live this way, and we know how bad a housing problem Australia has, especially the big urban areas, housing problem, major housing problem. But it's like, while it would not be my favorite thing to do, I could live in Berlin, Germany. It's a big city, but it's only 3.5 million people. But it's a big spread out city
Yeah.
with lots of greenery and parks and blah, blah, blah. Sydney's got some beautiful areas, but Sydney is, to me, is like London. I could never live in London. And Sydney, it's just packed. Everything is
Yeah.
super tall and just packed in on itself. There are some wonderful places. The whole area from the Opera House around
The
to the
Botanical Gardens.
bridge. Great
Oh,
area,
okay.
cool
I like the
area.
Botanical Gardens, too.
The Botanical Gardens.
Even in winter, it was pretty.
Yeah, the Botanical Gardens are gorgeous. But from the Opera House along the waterfront all the way over to where we stayed in the old, what do they call that section, Artie? The old section there of Sydney under the bridge, the Harbor Bridge. That's a great area, lots of cool stuff, and we love the hotel we stayed at under the bridge. Very cool area. But I wouldn't want to live there. It's
Yeah.
just so packed. It's a nice place to visit. You don't want to live there. It's just so loaded. And I'm a city person. I couldn't live out in the country where there's one person every 5 miles or something. I do like having neighbors relatively close and shopping malls relatively close. In Germany, you can live in small towns and hop on a train in 20 minutes. You're in the big city with the shopping things. That's why Joyce and I, one of the cities that if life had been different and we could afford to move our entire family over there and get us all employed, there's a little town called Pirna that we love. That we could move to Pirna because Dresden, the big city Dresden, is 15 minutes up the road by train, 10 minutes by car. Prague is 2.5 hours away by train. Berlin
30
is,
minutes away, there's a national park. You know.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, you have kangaroos in suburbia, Greg. Yep.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's, thank you for taking us down there. That was the
The
only
Rocks.
place we saw kangaroos in the wild, so that's super
Yeah, that
cool.
was where we saw kangaroos in the wild, was that drive to your restaurant.
Right.
Not keen on big cities in any country. It depends on the big city. I love Prague. Prague is a gorgeous big city. Berlin is a big city, but it's spread out. It is the square footage, the square mileage is close to New York City, but it's a third of the population.
Right.
Because in Berlin, where Berlin is, you can't build high. You have to build wide. But I wouldn't want to live in a city that big. But Berlin is so big, it's got all its little areas. You could live out in Potsdam, for that matter, with Berlin, and 30 minutes by train, you're in the city. But there are plenty of towns I could see myself living in Germany. Well, hey, Ewan! Long time since I've seen you anywhere. I hope you're well, sir. Obviously, I've been out of touch. I've been off YouTube for 3 weeks. Started getting back on Wednesday.
So, hi, Ewan.
But it's great to have you, Sir Ewan. All nights at the Romboy table. It's great to be back.
Yeah.
It's interesting because while we were in Australia, my channel died. Now, like, I think I'm at minus...
What, train people don't like nature videos?
I think I have the same number of subscribers I had
Yeah, probably,
before
Artie.
we went to Australia. And again,
Yeah.
I've got a nice number of subscribers, so I can't be sounding all. But the views and the view hours on my channel, even with stuff I posted from Australia, my view hours are half of what they normally are. It's funny, my channel died, so.
He's trying to revive it.
So
now.
yeah, I'm trying to revive
Yeah.
my channel. So hopefully
So
this live
you
stream.
need a little more train stuff for your train people, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the little guy is
now
actually
he's
here
here.
now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Everybody,
plug your ears.
plug your ears.
Plug your ears, everybody. Kyan! Opa loves you! Kyan! Hey, Kyan.
Hey, little dude.
Hey, Lynn. Not Lindsay, she's Lindy.
Yeah, Lindy.
Which is actually a bit of a joke, because when she was in high school,
No, college.
was it college? I thought it was high school. College. There were two Lyns in a class. So one was Lynn, whatever her last name first initial was, and so Lynn was Lindy for Lynn Dodge, and it just became Lindy.
Yeah.
So now she is Lindy. I think I'm the only one who just calls her Lynn. Everybody, you call her Lynn or Lindy?
Oh, I mostly call her Lynn.
Oh, okay. But yeah. So Lindy.
Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah. There's that.
Speaking of, AJ never answered me.
Yeah, and that's true. Artie tried. Lynn. Artie
Yeah,
tried
he
talking
tried.
us into staying and
And
saying,
the
just bring
whole
you guys over,
family,
bring the
yeah.
whole family over.
The whole family over.
Unfortunately, we couldn't afford to live in Australia.
Yeah. Your house prices are nuts.
Unless you translate my retirement pay and Joyce's pay to equivalent levels, we couldn't afford to live in Australia. Wow.
Well, some of them were
Houses a
mines.
third the size of mine were double mine.
Boys call you Linny. Still a lot. Okay. You know what boys she's talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course I know who she's talking about. Why do you think
Yes,
I
it
would not?
sure is. I agree.
Where is it? Come on. There we go. We'll go back to this too. Well, you kind of got to keep it going, but like I put up a video of my newest acquisition. Now, 2 months ago, that would be an easy 400
we did all right,
views.
Artie.
It would be an easy 300, 400 views, and now I'm struggling to get 150 on these things. Well, we did, but that's what I'm saying.
All right, night, Leslie.
All right, good night, Leslie. Thanks
Good to
for
see
hanging
ya.
out with us. Yeah, and that's why I always say is that when people say, "Oh, look, you've got X number of subscribers," you can have X number of subscribers, but how many are there with you? How many watch your videos? Because everybody in here that I'm subscribed to, I watch your videos and I comment on all your videos, except for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Except for the last 3 weeks. You did not get comments or views from me in most cases because we didn't watch YouTube. We didn't watch TV, and I wasn't on my
Hot
computer.
Wheels K case with the Bumblebee. Interesting.
Did you get the Bumblebee, or did you already have it, Dominic? Well, my streams were not announced. I did not preset my streams, Graham.
I thought you did your last one.
Did I schedule that
I
one?
think you did.
I might have scheduled it
I
like
know
2
you
hours
planned
before I
it.
went live.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
It was like only 2 hours
Which,
before, or
yeah,
like 6 hours.
yeah, we were
my
very
live
early
streams
for
were impromptu
America.
because I didn't know when I would
Early
be able to go
afternoon
on.
for Europe. Are you still searching for them? Okay.
You're still searching for them. Okay. That's actually a great question, Mav.
It is.
Because, as Joyce will tell you, one of the things I like to do is look at construction architecture, both modern and historical. Because in my head, I kind of
interesting.
expected to see very clearly English-style cottages and homes in Australia, since the Australian culture, the dominant culture now, not the indigenous culture, but the dominant culture now, is primarily based in the UK. It was a UK colony. You have the Union Jack on the
Right.
Australian flag. But there were so many influences that
Yeah.
only rarely did I see a house that I said, oh, you could see that in the UK.
Yeah, I already answered that kind of this. In the older areas, it's similar, but once you get out of the older areas,
even in the older areas, it's similar, but there's definitely other influences, because not only does the material affect what you build, but the climate and the available of materials.
right? Yeah, definitely.
You have to build to the area you're fitting in. But, you know, I always felt in the UK, especially in the towns, that houses are, compared to America, of course, houses are smaller, more tightly packed, yards tend to be smaller, until you get into the outer country areas where the estates get bigger and the yards get much bigger. But you know, the majority of the UK lives in semi-detached or multifamily building structures. But yeah, there is clearly in my head now an Australian style, which is a blending.
Yeah.
Just like you can go to the east coast of the United States and then come to Toledo and
And it
Detroit,
look very
and it's a
different.
very different architectural style 100 years ago. But you look at houses being built today in Toledo, Detroit, Boston, Chicago,
Yeah.
they're very similar.
Similars, yeah.
There are certain similar and popular styles, but then they're still built to adapt to the climate. The East Coast, stronger, harder winters, certain things are going to be done. But I mean, we were looking at, oh, that looks Yugoslavian, that looks Mediterranean, oh, that's Spanish colonial, oh, you know, a very eclectic blending of construction. But we can see a difference between how a lot of the homes were constructed in Melbourne versus how they're built in Sydney. And then the one city that struck us as very cool was, I'm going to say it wrong, Goulburn, where Gary lives. Goulburn. That was an interesting town because it was a very Victorian town.
Right. Yeah. Pretty.
And it's not even so much cookie cutter homes, but there are trends and styles
Yeah.
that now, because of mass media, you know, 150 years ago, you didn't necessarily know what Chicago looked like unless you traveled and went to Chicago. Now you can watch 20 TV shows that show you Chicago and see types of homes and say, oh, I like that, I like that. Oh, this is coming in from California. Oh, this is coming in from Florida. This is coming in from the East Coast. Oh, here's something developed in the Midwest, and then it all blends. So 10 years down the road, what was once an East Coast thing is now straight across America.
Well, there's a lot of places in America that have solar-powered homes
We have a
too.
lot of solar homes.
You just aren't going to find it here. We're too cloudy.
But
in
like
the
with
winter.
Australia, the one thing we were learning is a lot of houses, especially older homes, say more than 20 years old, don't have central heating. because the buildings are designed to let the heat out, because most of the time it's hot.
Right.
And only once you get down to the Melbourne area do you have a lot of homes with central heating. Or people have had heating retrofitted into their
Could
houses.
exchange solar power for free beer, huh? Huh.
Exactly, Chris. Because we have that in the United States too. I grew up in a housing development where all the houses were small by American standards, and even then, the building permit for the construction company was like on this main road was supposed to be for 7 houses in this gap of 1/8 of a mile or whatever it was, and they built 8, and the city never caught on to that until like 20 years later. Because the housing let's just take 5 feet off of each property and create an 8th property.
Well, they need it, Artie.
Because by building that extra house, they were able to sell it for that much extra. And then the city, of course, was getting property taxes from 8 houses on that land
7
based on.
lots, yeah.
But the thing is, when the city found out an extra house was built in, they didn't reduce everybody's property tax for the lost square footage. They were still taxing everybody at that rate.
No, you can't get it adjusted. We don't want to get adjusted here.
You can't have a brick house in New Zealand since the earthquake in 31.
Oh, wow. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I think the recycled water is clever.
All right, Andy, take your dog for a walk. We will see you on your live feed Sunday,
All
if
right,
not
take
somebody's
care,
live
Andy.
feed. Well, Raymond, if I were to move out of this country, my first destination would be Germany.
Yeah, that's
I would go Germany.
for sure.
A, I already speak the language, and B, I love the transportation system, and Germany opens up so many other places to go. If not Germany, maybe somewhere in the UK. But I'm not going anywhere where I'd be away from my kids.
Yeah. You think we're kind of here?
I always thought
We'll just visit.
I always thought my kids would grow up and get big jobs and move across the country, and it would be one of those we'll never see them. But we're a tight-knit family. My son lives 2.5 hours away, and it feels like he's on the other side of the world.
Yawn, yawn, yawn.
And I can actually say that having just traveled to the other side of the world. But my son feels like he's that far away. Heck, I've seen Artie more in the last 3 weeks than I've seen my son in the last year.
That's probably true. Are the English speakers of the Netherlands? Yeah, I believe that's true.
New Zealand is very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could have been able to afford stopping off in New Zealand
Well, I think
and
we
then
know.
going over to
I
Sydney.
think
We can
know
do it next
how.
time.
I think we go to Australia and then we take one of those cheap flights over to New Zealand.
I think we
Yeah.
could do that. We'll have to see how cheap. Better looking than my son?
And
No.
your son?
No, you're not better looking than my son.
Nah. We love you, Artie, but, he's ours.
And see, the only
Yikes.
compliment,
That's scary, Moms.
the only compliment my father ever directly gave to me,
I imagine it is.
despite all the successes I had in school and academia, getting my book published, my father never gave me a
That's true,
compliment.
Artie.
My father never gave me a compliment. The only compliment I ever got from my father was when Joyce and I were looking at this house and put in a bid. My dad came by, looked at it, looked around and said,
You chose a brick house. Smart. Brick's the best.
We just have minor earthquakes here, so.
And brick is the best house to have. Two weeks to go, your daughter.
You understand? Oh boy.
London
Hey,
is
I'm not sure I would think I'd call her fat to her face, Greg. She's just, you know, expected happiness. That's a nice way to think of it. Well, let us know when she has that baby. Now we're interested, you know. We've been brought into your world.
Well, we just,
Yeah, it's a long 2 weeks, too.
I mean,
boy.
I did not specifically go out to buy a brick house. It just happened to be we bought a brick house, and I do like the look of brick, but I actually like Tudor houses with the timber, you know, the sort of like the German Fachwerkhäuser.
Oh, on the bright side, we
timber
don't have
frame
to paint
houses.
it.
But yeah, but once I looked at a brick house and this was the house we decided to get, again, that was the only time my dad ever gave me a way to go. Oh, you got a brick house, smart.
Try to do my amazing.
Brick is the
Hey, y'all, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button for Anthony. Get him up to
you might
40.
have to refresh and see how many it
Yeah, I
really
can
has.
see on here.
Oh, on there it says I got 37.
You have 38 according to here.
Sad onion coming soon.
Sad onion?
Yeah, you have much less issues. You know, wooden houses, you got to, especially depending on where you live. If you live in places that get hot and humid, you got to worry about bugs, insects, termites, carpenter ants, chewing it up,
Termites,
blah, 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 blah.
Oof.
Water filtration, rot, dry rot, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that is scary. Killer bricks and grease. Guess I hadn't considered, but yeah. The three little pigs were wrong. Brick is bad to build your house.
Especially when you come home late from the pub.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just,
Oh, that's one way to check out.
but see,
Fast.
that the hardest adjustment, again, Toledo's flat.
Interesting.
Toledo is basically flat. Yes, we have slight variations, but
Not
this whole
much.
Northwest Ohio is flat.
Here in the Lake Plains.
You got to drive 150 miles southeast before you get into real hills, or
All
you
right,
got to
Greg.
go 150, 200 miles north of us before you really see hills. Toledo's flat. And then you go to Wollongong in Australia and everything's up,
Oh.
down, twisted sideways. That would be a crazy, it's beautiful to see. It sucks to drive on.
Yeah. Yeah, now that we're home, there's no mountains, no hills. Oh, that's true. She'll lose her baby weight. Huh.
Because in Tornado Alley,
Yeah,
the
we knew
main
you
parts of
were
Tornado
already-
Alley, brick is not easy to come by and it's expensive.
Yeah.
And you also don't have the concrete foundations to
heavily support the weight of brick. Now the ground itself is harder, but that's why they don't have basements and they have to have stone
Yeah, they
cellars.
can't do basements. It's too hard to drill through. I mean, it's just
So they just
extremely expensive.
they scoop it down, put a thin concrete pad, and build the house.
Yeah.
Well, that thin concrete pad can't hold the weight of a, nor does it fully support a true heavy brick house or stone house, which in those areas not easy to come by brick. You know, you build with what's most readily available. Twisty roads are the best. I'll disagree, but you know, we all have our personal.
Well, it's fun.
I don't like twisty roads.
I don't know. I have to take Dramamine.
Yeah, Joyce has to take Dramamine, and I have to drive slower. Now, if I grew up in such an area, maybe it'd be different, but I grew up in a flat area with straight roads. My form of racing was drag racing. We had nice straight roads. We drag raced. You know, we didn't do F1 racing. We didn't have the big curves.
Thought of blindfolding you to take the shortcuts. I told him we needed to switch places. He could hide in the back.
Yeah, and every time I said, "Do you want to sit up front?" you said no.
Oh yeah, but I said no because you weren't on a mountain.
Yeah, I put on 6 to 7 kilos since I bottomed out. I need to get back to working out. I'm starting to.
Yeah.
I'm still 50 pounds, 22, 24 kilos less than I was about 4 years ago, but I put some back on, and I really need to get back to losing it. It's going to be a little harder to get up in the morning and play tennis if I'm watching Cayenne 3 days a week. We'd have to get up really early.
Yeah, well,
And if you wanted to go boating.
eat, it's not a bad idea.
You put on 20
Yeah,
pounds eating the
I gotta-
leftovers. Well, we tried to eat you out of. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Normally, when I go on vacation, I lose weight because, like in Germany, we don't eat a lot. We hike everywhere. At Artie's, you go to any place to eat in Australia, they don't starve you. Oh, look, they have veal parmesan. I'll order a veal parmesan. You get 2 veals this big, and then a big thing of fries, French fries, chips to the UK people, chips to the Australian
I
people.
had a chicken meal on our last day there, and she kept, stop! She kept throwing all the French fries on top of it. Like,
Fish and
stop,
chips, you get a huge
stop.
fish fillet, deep batter fried like this, and then the box is this big, and they fill the box up with the fries over the fish.
Yeah. I had to hunt to go find my chicken or my fish.
Yeah, the Australians. That's probably why we probably saw more Australians jogging than any country we've ever been to. Oh my
true.
God,
In
Sydney!
the
You wanted to
cities?
get a broomstick out because there were just joggers everywhere running past you. It's like 61
Yeah,
degrees.
they're
They're in
cold.
tight shorts and tank top T-shirts jogging. I'm like, I'm in a hoodie going, man, I'm cold, and these joggers are out there.
It is good running.
And they are running past you, and they are knocking you out of the way. And you try to step out of the way of one, and 3 more hit you coming that way.
Yeah. I was walking from the botanical gardens to the opera house.
Oh yeah,
They were
we ate
thick.
at Artie Sports Club a couple of times, and yeah, it's a big plate
Yeah.
filled with food. Oh my God.
Yes, he did. Had a heart attack.
Yep.
Well, Artie's favorite one sure gave us a lot of.
Oh, there wasn't
chips.
a place we went to that didn't give us a ton of food. I don't
No.
recall going anywhere going, oh look, a nice small portion. we definitely did not lose the weight we I think I may have gained 2-3 pounds in Australia.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of food. Yeah, you did. It was a lot of food. We really don't tend to eat that much, Artie.
Get a meat pie, and normally I'd eat half of it. It's like, well, Artie just bought these special meat pies. I better eat the whole thing.
Quit yawning.
Yeah, quit yawning, Joyce. But yes, Australia was amazing. We are in love with Australia. Went from thinking we'll go once and leave it go to now, yeah, we'll probably go back. It just means a year I'd have to not go to Germany, which sucks. But we're going to Germany next year for sure. The year after that, the UK.
And we're going to Getz.
And we're coming to Getz in October. But we're also going to go up to the other train show.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half drive.
How are we doing that?
Did you have a floater, Anthony? I will not discuss my bathroom habits with you. Or are you referring to something else?
Really a personal question, yeah. No, we were in no danger of being hungry at all.
No, the problem is there's so
trying to
many
pace
things.
out what I was eating.
There were so many things to eat and to try, and so we still didn't get to some, but we did have kangaroo. Ah, okay. I did not know meat pies floating in gravy. I had one where we had the meat pie and gravy. The other time we just had the meat pie with gravy inside, and I avoided the peas. All right, Mav, you got to work in the morning.
All right, nice to meet you, Mav. Nice to come in.
Thank you. Very nice of you to say that. We are happy to be back. We do miss Australia. It was great hanging with Artie.
Here too.
And it's about time for us to start letting the new guy get his.
Yeah, I think Artie was trying to do that, and then it was the way it was. So it was okay. We partially see.
It was what it was. That's the way that it is. This is Walter Cronkite, CBS News. Good night.
Whoa, hang on.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what are you doing hitting the back of my chair?
Here's the back of your chair.
But, it was... I've got to sit down and start editing the video, putting things together. Even little things like I have driven through, around the Rocky Mountains many times, but I'd never seen them from above. That was cool.
That was.
And then we saw the Pacific Ocean in Honolulu. That was amazing.
Yeah. Dipped our toes
Honolulu was very beautiful.
You
A little
still have
too
one running.
commercial. Yeah. The new guy's running. It's actually just a new locomotive.
Yeah.
A banana and bacon roll. Oh! Stop. Banana and bacon. Ugh.
The world feels a little bit safer now that we know where you are. Ooh.
The world feels a bit safer now that we know where you are. What? I see.
Oh.
Well, I always poo-pooed the idea of going to Australia. It was too far. I knew it was going to be a hard flight to do.
Okay, great. We'll look
maybe
forward to Fredo.
sometimes my other job requires me to travel.
Your other job?
Yeah, the other job. The job we can't talk about. The other job.
All right, get on one screen.
Otherwise, what? Yes, dear.
Oh.
Wow, you're just coming down and taking over the show, playing Miss Producer Director, eh? There, there. Boy, it's been a while.
It's better, yeah, it has. It really feels awkward.
Do you come from a land down under? Oh, yeah, Exactly, Raymond. Bacon, banana, blah. Oh, you've got the first episode of season 2 NASCAR Heat. Film. You just got to edit it and put it up. Okay, well, we'll see how he does in year 2 of his career.
Right.
What you need now is to create more characters and have like Smokey's great grandson. Just won't be the same. You can't say it's all a bunch of horse poop now. It's all a bunch of car grease. I don't know.
I don't think it
All
works.
right. Anyhow, it was great to be back, and more importantly, it was great to see so many of you back here.
For sure.
We did miss you all. We missed having your names in the chat and popping in, saying hello. Wonderful to sort of have a sense of routine. It is sad to be out of Australia. It is sad to look outside and feel that ugly heat after all that nasty cold. But then to see boring flat Toledo after all those beautiful mountains in the ocean, because I'm going to have to start going to certain parts of Lake Erie more just to remind me it won't be the same as the ocean, but it'll be close. Because, man, I'm going to miss the ocean. I fell in love with the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with it. Oh, my God, the ocean was... I was too lazy to get out of bed at 4:30. Well, since I was going to bed at 11 or 12 at night, yeah. But, yeah. So anyhow, on behalf of the amazing Joyce and the rest of my family, we shall say, Auf Wiedersehen
Cheers.
and happy trains. Take care, everybody.
Bye.